This conference will now be recorded.
All right. So in the last session, what we talked was we were talking about accounts payable, and wherein we understood what is the configuration that is related to accounts payable, and we made a list of configuration steps. We executed the configuration steps, and finally we created one vendor, one vendor invoice. We have seen the vendor line item report or vendor outstanding in the vendor account. Similarly, exactly opposite to this, we will work on accounts receivable today. When I say accounts receivable, now we are able to create a vendor master, we are able to create a vendor invoice, we are able to display the vendor report. Exactly opposite to this, let us try to understand what is customer and how customer invoice is created, how customer invoice is generated. Now, in order to understand this, we will take our accounts payable as base. Whatever the accounts payable we understood in the last session, from that last session we will take a reference, and based on this last session reference we will try to understand accounts receivable, in short customer, so that we practically relate. If you know accounts payable, accounts receivable is quite opposite of it. Now what I'll do, I'll simply put a copy paste of this content. I will start amending the data. So I'll put until. Okay, this is what I'll take. Same content I'm copying here now. And we will try to understand how we are converting payable understanding into receivable understanding. If you see here, yesterday we listed accounts payable configuration. Today we are talking about accounts receivable configuration. Straight away, what we are going to do, payable we are going to convert into receivable. Accounts payable is becoming accounts receivable. After that, we've listed within the accounts receivable, when we are understanding the business process of any organization, of any client, you need to understand how their masters are created with respect to vendor in accounts payable, with respect to customer in accounts receivable. Since we're talking about accounts receivable, your vendor will be replaced by customer. We are going to get the master data requirement related to customer, as your AR or accounts receivable is all about customer. Same like for vendor, BP is required. For customer also, BP, in short, business partner is required. After that, we understood the transactions like invoices, return, payment. For customer also, it is the same thing. You will have customer invoice, you will have customer returns, you will have customer payment. You can either call it as customer payment, you can also call it as customer receipt. Okay, if you are calling as payment, we are representing incoming payment. Okay, so this is fine. Reports, I will say line item report, balance report, likewise. And after that, we listed something related to configuration. And before we listed something related to configuration, we understood how your accounts payable was representing or appearing in the balance sheet. Similarly, let us try to understand how accounts receivable is going to reflect in your balance sheet. We understood accounts payable is a balance sheet item. Here also accounts receivable is a balance sheet item. Accounts payable was a liability, accounts receivable is an asset. So I am going to replace liability with assets here. After that, we were writing accounts payable here. Accounts payable is becoming accounts receivable here, and sundry creditors is becoming sundry debtors here. This is becoming sundry debtors. These points we have to understand. After that, we are listing the different categorization of vendors, how to reflect them in the balance sheet liabilities side. Similarly, we are going to understand the different categorization of customers, how we are going to represent our customers in the balance sheet asset side. Now, local vendor, local customer, and domestic vendor, domestic customer. In short, wherever you have a vendor, vendor will be replaced with customer here. So what I'll do, I will simply do a control H, I will select vendor and I am going to replace it with customer. Okay, so wherever we have got vendor, now the vendor is replaced with customer. So we are going to have local customer. Local customer is also represented as domestic customer. Similarly, foreign customer is also represented as export customer. Because for customers, we are going to export the goods or services, and then you are going to put export customers here. Next one time customer, intra-company customer, employee customer, third-party customer, service customer. Likewise, whatever the categorization that the client has got in their business requirement, and according to their reporting requirement, whatever the categorization is their expectation, accordingly, we are going to freeze the logic and you are going to list out these many account groups will be created for customers with respect to accounts receivable in SAP. Once this is listed out, you are going to freeze the account group. Exactly the same logic, whatever we used for accounts payable. Different account groups, how you are going to create. Majoritarily, the similar grouping will be created. If you see local customer, local vendor, foreign customer, foreign vendor, one-time customer, one-time vendor, intercompany customer, intercompany vendor, everything is closely identical. Right? Now, the account group also similarly you are going to mention. It is same thing, 4-digit alphanumeric. We will be proceeding with 4-digit numeric identification code in any project. When you are going to put 4-digit numeric identification, it is majoritarily 1000, 2000, 3000, 4000 or 1100, 1200, 1300, 1400 likewise to ensure that the sequential order will not be exceeded or will not get exhausted. Today you have less number of entries. Tomorrow or in future, if you're adding additional number of entries, we need to ensure your settings or the logic, whatever you have decided, is going to be helpful. And same thing in number range. How are you going to identify your customer account? Local customer, I would say 1 series. Foreign customers, I would say 2 series. One-time customer, 3 series. In this, what we are going to identify in a similarity manner is, if you're talking about local customer or you're talking about local vendor, account group will be similar, 1000 here, 1000 there. Number range will also be the similar, 1 series here, 1 series there. So that it is very easy for your client or users to remember in a logical representation. Instead, if you're creating in different manner, they have to relate it when it comes to reporting. During the reporting, to relate a different content, if they are logical, you can simply you can apply different formulas to collect the data. If these are not identical, you have to do a lot of manual interventions. Manual formulas are to be updated. So which is not an ideal formula, which is not an ideal solution for any project. Right? And then reconciliation accounts we have to create. For accounts payable, we've created reconciliation account under liability category. For accounts receivable, we will be creating a reconciliation account under the asset category. Within the asset, you need to have one account group called accounts receivable. Under the accounts receivable, respective GL account will be created for accounts receivable local customer, accounts receivable export customer. Likewise, whatever the groups that you have, for every group one dedicated reconciliation GL will be created. Now this is what the initial understanding we had with respect to vendor, and the same thing we are able to convert with respect to customer with accounts receivable concept. After this, we made a list of configuration steps. After that, we made a list of configuration step. When we were working or when we were making a list of configuration step, how did we list the configuration based on the SPRO path? Now the same SPRO path, let me open once again. For accounts payable, wherever we went, for accounts receivable also at the same location we have to go. Let me go to SPRO here. and I'll add SAP reference IMG, open financial accounting. In financial accounting, open accounts receivable and accounts payable. Inside this, yesterday we were talking about supplier account with respect to accounts payable configuration. We have to work with customer account with respect to accounts receivable configuration. Let us open customer account. In vendor, we went inside master data. For customer also same thing, inside master data. In vendor also we had preparation for supplier master data. For customer also you have preparation for customer master data. Open this, and here the similar setting. First one is this, and to get the transaction code for this, what we did, we went into the menu, additional information. From this additional information, we've opened additional information. From this display key, and here IMG activity. When you click on this IMG activity, you got additional information here. From this, we understood last 4 digits is representing transaction code in most of the scenarios, if T code is applicable. If T code is not applicable, table will be there. That table we are not going to use anywhere. So I'll copy the first setting. To do the copy, just do a Control C. Go to Excel sheet. I am going to replace it here. Okay, for vendor, T code was OBD3. And for customer, T code is OBD2. And the next setting, I will copy create number ranges for customer account. This is XDN1. So I'll put this, and this is OBD2, and this is XDN1. Third setting is assign number ranges to vendor account group. When it comes to customer, the configuration is assign number ranges to customer account group. So what we are doing, we are just replacing the configuration from our accounts payable understanding. OBAS was for vendor, and for customer it is OBAR. For customer it is AR. And after that, vendor tolerance group. Now this will become customer tolerance group. This is part of your baseline configuration. Same T code will be applicable here. Customer tolerance group OBA3. And after that, whatever the settings that you have with respect to business partner, they remain as it is. The only change is 3 settings. Only the 3 settings will be changed. Otherwise, whatever you did for vendor, same things you will have to repeat it for customer as well. Apart from these 3 settings, we have not made any changes anywhere. It's only the 3 settings. From accounts payable, we've amended. Otherwise, whatever the config we did for vendor, in short accounts payable, same config we are doing it for customer or for the accounts receivable. Make sure you are able to relate it, and your accounts payable knowledge, your accounts payable understanding is going to help you understand accounts receivable, and it is also going to eliminate confusion between AP/AR. Most of the times we will get confused between payables and receivables, in short purchasing and selling. So when you do these activities parallelly side by side, the confusion whatever we have will get automatically eliminated. Now let us proceed to the system to do the configuration. Same logic. First one is create account group with a screen layout rule. Let's go to SAP. In SAP, let me open the first setting, define account group with screen layout rule for customer. Open this. This is locked by Ajay10. If any of you is using, please do not open the screens. I have to close, no other go. I'm not sure if you're in middle of something. Sorry for it. Same thing here also. Before you add any new entry, make sure straight away you open new entry. Open any one existing entry which is SAP standard or already configured record. If you double click on any one, you are going to understand how the account group is created, what information is filled up. Accordingly we will have an idea. Based on that, you are proceeding to create a new record according to our requirement. Now I will come back one level, add a new entry. Logic, whatever we are deciding, that we will be updating here. Since the logic or the naming convention whatever we took may not be available in the system, especially in the practice server, we are going to change a different convention. But whatever we've listed in the Excel sheet, the same thing we are going to create in the project, like 1000, 2000, 3000. The same content will be created in the project. In short, it will be a copy paste activity. Control C in the KDS document, key data structures, go to SAP, add a new entry, Control V, copy paste your configuration. Most of the cases, whatever the application area that you are configuring. So what I'll do here is, so this is 8p. I am going to take 8p, or what I took yesterday. Anybody remember which code we have used for vendor yesterday? Is it 8p LV or 8s? Sorry, 8s01. Is it not 01? I guess 10.
8S10, I think, sir.
8s10, right? Okay. Anyways, let me open it. OBD3. It was 8s10 we've created. So let me create similarly this one, not this here. So 8s10, same thing I'm going to create here. So I will put Sony local customers. So 8s10 I'm creating. I am writing Sony local customers. No other information we gave for vendor. Similar way, you are not going to give any other information apart from account group, whatever you are creating, plus the meaning. Meaning is nothing but the description. Press enter, click on save. When you click on save, you will get a TR. Now this is not part of your accounts payable. Make sure if this is a different functionality, if this is a different module, always try to add this in the new TR. To add it in the new TR, click on new entry here, create request, and put the same logic. So previously how you were creating, same logic. FI was there, you put FI here also, and then I will put Sony accounts receivable baseline. Save this. Now the first account group has been created. We understood you don't have to come out every time to add a new entry. From the same screen itself, you can go to next record or next entry by clicking on this. If you go to next entry, we are not coming out of the screen. When you are not coming out of the screen, system is not going to create a new request, or it is not going to ask you to select the request. Instead, what system is going to do, it is going to capture the request or capture the data in the same TR which was used for the first record. Whatever the first TR that we used on this screen, the same TR will be used for n number of records that you are adding on this screen. So do not get confused that it is not giving you a TR. Do not think that this is not a configuration. It is configuration only, but since you have not come out of the screen, it is not prompting you the TR number again and again. Add the new entry, same thing, 10, I will make it a 20. Sony local customer will be export customer. I'll put export to customer, click on save, enter. I'm creating only two. Local customer we've created and then export to customer we have created. Come back. After creating the customer group, next thing is to create the number range for the customer. Now, when we are creating the number range for the customer, we need to understand what we did for vendor yesterday. For vendor, what we actually did, we created a number range and we assumed vendor number range is supposed to be external. So here also same logic, customer number range will be created as external number range, and then you are going to do the business partner configuration. In business partner configuration also you have a number range, and we need to make sure customer number range, business partner number range are identical. Customer business partner number range is identical, first point. Second point, once we are clear with this customer creation, we should also consider about customer vendor business partner together. Why we need to understand customer vendor business partner together? Tomorrow the same person may be purchasing from you and the same person is also selling it to you. Now one person will be the customer, the same person will be the vendor. You do not want to have two separate master records. Instead, there will be a single master because it's a single person. For the single person, it is supposed to be a single master data and single master record number. Whatever the master record number that you are getting for BP, we are extending same number to the vendor. Now, if the same person is becoming a customer, you are supposed to take same number as customer also. So to consider this point, this requirement, you should ensure number ranges are properly aligned. While creating a vendor, while creating a customer, make sure number ranges are created in such a way that your business partner code, whatever you're generating, is common for customer, is common for vendor. To make sure that this is in sync, you are going to define one more setting called CVI for BP, which is nothing but customer vendor integration. Based on this customer vendor integration, we are ensuring that business partner number, customer number plus vendor number is one and the same if the person is the same. This is the standard common requirement. Wherever S4HANA is implemented, whosoever is working on business partner functionality, this is mandatory point to be understood. Now, since we are working in the practice environment, number range may be available, may not be available, whatever we are exactly using it. If it is available, it is fine. If it is not available, let us see how to meet this requirement. Now, before I maintain the customer number range, first let me open the customer number range screen. I'll go to this one, create number ranges for customer account. Let me open this. I'll go to same thing, change interval, and to see what are the available numbers, go to interval, click on free intervals. 3 series is what we were using yesterday. Here I am able to see 3999 is available. What I'll do is, yeah, which number range was used yesterday? Let me open XKN1. In XKN1 change intervals, something 8S we've created or S8 we've created. $8,700. OBAS. Let me check the account group. Which one was assigned? It was S8. So for S8, what is assigned? S8. For S8, 8700 is what we've created yesterday. Now let me verify if we've created a business partner with 8700. I will just display a business partner by number 8700. Yes, 8700 is what we used. Now what I'll try to do is I will see if I have 8700 available here also. Here also we are able to see 8700 is available, and where is this? Okay. Now I'm going to pick up the same thing. I'll put here also S8, continue, scroll down to S8. S8 is here, 8700, and then I'll take until 8750 only. I'll click on external for this, click on save, continue. 8700 number range is utilized for data also. Come back. Now number range whatever we've created was S8 starting from 8700 till 8750. After the second step, the third step is to make sure our number range is assigned to the account group that we've created. If you have 8 account groups, you have to create 8 individual number ranges. 8 number ranges are supposed to be assigned to 8 account groups whatever is created. Now we are creating only one, but when you're in the project, you need to make sure you will create all the settings in one go. Come down. This is our Sony local customer. Make sure S8 is the number range. Save this and I'll say save. With this, our basic settings related to customer master is completed. After customer settings are completed, we need to go inside business partner configuration. For that, go to menu again. Cross application component is where BP configuration is maintained. Open this. From the cross application component, if you scroll down, you will find SAP business partner. Open SAP business partner, and inside the SAP business partner there is one more node called business partner. Open this business partner. Inside the business partner, go to basic settings. From basic setting, let's open number ranges and grouping. Open this. Define number ranges. Now what we are trying to understand, we are trying to understand number range for local customer, number range for local vendor must be same. To make sure that the requirement is achieved, yesterday what we created one number range S8 wherein we are using 8700 to 8750. Same number range was assigned to vendor, which is local categorization. Now the same number range we have assigned to the customer, which is local categorization. In short, local vendor, local customer is sharing the same number group. Now since the number range is already available, I am not adding one more number range because BP is common for customer and vendor. It is not customer specific, it is not vendor specific. BP is common for both customer plus vendor. So one number range for BP is sufficient to handle customer and vendor. I am not maintaining this again. Come back. Now next one, define grouping and assign number ranges. Open this setting. Add a new entry here. Let me open a new grouping. So new grouping, what I am going to create is, yesterday it was 8S10. Now here also we've taken what number range, what account group we created. If I go here, OBD2. If this is the same thing that we've created, we are going to get a message that this is already utilized. Let me reconnect to the server.
हाँ सा इधर अभी खिला रही हूँ हम तो जरा इम्पोर्टेंट भी चल रहा मेरा 5 मिनट के बाद आते
Now what I'm trying to say here is, while the server gets connected, we need to make sure which account grouping was created for customer, which account grouping was created for vendor. Now what we created the same identification, 8S10 there, 8S10 here also, I believe. Now when we are creating for customer separately, vendor separately, we are able to maintain, or we are able to meet the requirement properly. But when it comes to the grouping of your BP, you need to make sure this is not duplicating. We need to make sure this is not duplicating. If this is duplicating, you need to ensure that the settings that you are going to revise it. In short, the naming convention, whatever you have decided at the beginning, it has to be amended. Now this is 8S10, it is telling an entry already exists, and if I go to customer display, here also I have created 8S10. Why we have created 8S10? We are assuming 8S representing 8 Sony, 8 p.m. Sony, and then 10 representing first grouping. But when it comes to this, we understood that this is already utilized and it is not allowing us to proceed further. So no other go, you need to change this here. How you are going to change this? When you are changing this, you need to make sure how you are going to keep your BP grouping, customer vendor grouping identical. If you wanted to use same grouping, it is fine. But if you wanted to use the same grouping, the first instance itself, it is not allowing you to use a different one. It is not allowing us to use the different one. So what I will do here is, I will come back. I am going to create a new grouping. So instead of 8S, I am going to put 8C10. When I am putting 8C10, I am assuming 8C is representing 8 customer 10. It is representing customer 10. But if I am representing like this, you need to make sure here also you are going to amend it. Here also you are going to amend it, but for now I am not amending it. When you are practicing, make sure this name and this name are exactly identical, so that when you are referring it later on, or in your absence somebody else is looking into the system, they will not get confused why these are created with a different naming convention, whereas it is supposed to be the same. For time being, I am proceeding as it is, because if I delete it, it will create confusion. I am not deleting it. Next time when I configure the additional account group, at that time I will create both identical. Now we understood, if you are not considering these points at the beginning, later on when you are actually maintaining the configuration, like this unwanted errors will come. Now to fix the error, no other go, you have to rectify the previously configured settings. That is why everything you have to list out in the Excel sheet, which is represented as key data structure, before you actually step into SAP. 8C10 I am putting the description as 8S10 local customer. I am writing the description as 8S10 local customer. Number range I am going to put S8. This is the number range. I am using it here. Let me click on save. Enter. After this setting, next setting what we did was, we did something called customer vendor integration, in short CVI. To do this CVI, customer vendor integration, come out of SAP Business Partner. Down below you will find another node called master data synchronization. Open this master data synchronization. Inside this, yesterday whatever we did, the same step, go to CVI, customer vendor integration. In this we went inside BP setting, in short business partner setting. Below that business partner setting, we are opening vendor setting yesterday. Now we need to open customer setting. Open settings for customer integration. Under that, field assignment for customer integration. Below this, we went inside assign keys. It is exactly the same, except a change called supplier is replaced by vendor customer. Otherwise, there is no change. Logic we used, yesterday we used direction BP2 customer, sorry, BP2 vendor. Here also we are using same logic, direction BP2 customer. Open this setting and in this add a new entry, grouping whatever we created for BP. This is your 8C10 and customer grouping is 8S10. Okay, 8S10 local customer, Sony local customer. Same number is what you want. Click on save. Enter. Now after defining this, our BP configuration is completed and our customer related configuration is also completed. Lastly, what we did after everything is completed, we create vendor reconciliation. Here we need to create customer reconciliation GL. Let me put customer reconciliation GL. To create the GL account, what we did, we went inside FS00. Same thing here, FS00. Inside the FS00, it was under accounts payable yesterday. Now we need to create under accounts receivable. To find out the accounts receivable group, you can expand account group here. Now you can see account receivable group is 1510. I'll just create a new entry or I can make a copy of it. I'll put 1510 ending with 1. Okay. It's a balance sheet account. Account group, this will be accounts receivable 1510. Payable, I am going to replace it with receivable. Here also receivable. Local vendor, I am changing it as local customers. Enter. After this, go to control data. This is your reconciliation account type. For payable, it was vendor. For receivable, this will be customer. Select customer, enter, and go to create bank interest G067. This will remain as it is. Proceed to save. Now our settings related to accounts receivable also completed. What settings are completed? Only the baseline configuration for accounts receivable is completed now. After this, what we did, straight away we created customer master data. While creating the customer master data, what we did one point, one scenario we took. Now let us replace the same scenario. If I take the same scenario other way around, let's say Sony India has sold pantry items to Reliance store for 5000 INR. I am going to put the same thing but the other way around. Now Reliance store is now becoming a customer. It's a customer now for the Reliance store. Now how are we going to convert Reliance store as a customer? Now this time the requirement is not to create a customer directly, but before creating a customer directly, make sure if Reliance store is already available in our system or not. Yes, it is already available. Why it is already available? Yesterday in the last session when we were configuring accounts payable, we defined the same person, Reliance store, as a vendor. Now the same Reliance store is a customer for you. There is no change. It is the same party. Yesterday you purchased, today you are selling to the same person. One purchase transaction is happening and one sale transaction is happening with the same person. Make sure same person will be treated as customer plus vendor. To achieve this, what we need to do is, let me go to business partner first. If I go to business partner, all I can do is I can search with the name first before you create a customer, because you do not know if it is already existing or not. In that case, you should always select find a business partner. By number you are not sure, by name you go. You can search with different criteria. search a business partner by name. Here you put name. Always remember, whenever you are searching, you should always put 2 stars, 1 star at the beginning, 1 star at the end. Now your customer name or your vendor name, you have to type in between the stars. It is Reliance. I am going to put Reliance. You're not going to directly type Reliance. Before Reliance there will be a star, after Reliance there will be a star, so that Reliance will be considered as a keyword in the customer name or in the vendor name. Wherever Reliance is mentioned, all those Reliance names will appear here. After giving this, click on start or press enter to search. It is giving 2 master records here. It is giving 2 master record. We understood this is what the Reliance store that we created yesterday. Now like this, for the same name, if there are multiple master records, it is a duplicate master. If you see the name, it is exactly the same. Reliance store, there is no difference. Apart from the address, if you see, there is no difference. If there is no difference, you need to ensure a logic how you are going to differentiate it and how you are going to put controls, so that system is going to prompt a message whenever you are creating a duplicate master. So that is mandatory to be enabled in every project. For time being, this is what we created yesterday. I am picking up the same Reliance. I am picking up the same Reliance store. To open this, double click on this Reliance store. Once you double click it, this is what it is showing. And if you click on the display in BP role here, this is going to display how this business partner is currently treated. Now this business partner is currently treated as, you can find role business partner general and supplier financial accounting. This is treated as vendor alone. This BP is not converted as a customer. Now we have to convert this BP as a customer. Let us verify how we are going to convert this BP as a customer. Same thing, click on change icon. Go to change icon. Select the role. We want a customer in financial accounting. Go to F series. The role name will be FLCU00, customer in financial accounting. Select this. Once the customer appropriate role is selected, press enter on the keyboard. When you press enter, go to customer general data. And in customer general data, make sure system is able to identify this. Now, no account group is coming and no customer number is coming. Now, if this is happening like this is not what we wanted. This is not what we wanted. What we wanted was, whenever you select any business partner, and if you wanted to convert that business partner into a customer, system should automatically detect an account group, which is not happening here. So it's okay. So what I'll do, I'll try to press enter. If I try to go to company code on the top, I am proceeding further even though it is not yet created so far. I will put company code 8PSI. Sorry. 8PSI. And when I select reconciliation account related to accounts receivable, local customer, I will try to save this. Let's see what is going to happen. When you're trying to save, it is giving an error message. Grouping 8S10 has not been assigned to any customer account group. It is telling 8S10 grouping. Let's go to BP setting to verify that. Now, this is where we are using it here. If I go to grouping 8S10, there is no setting here related to 8S10, which means this setting is not yet maintained. This grouping is not yet maintained. I will come back one level. I will open this setting once again. Let me add a new entry. I will be selecting 8S10 here. Okay, this is your Sony local BP, and for this Sony local BP we wanted Sony local customer. Sony local customer. But what we did was 8C10 and 8S10. This setting is what we maintained. We maintained this configuration, but with this setting, this BP is not created. This BP is created with a group 8S10. This is created with a group 8S10. Now we are trying to create a group with 8C10. So system is not detecting it. So in short, you need to make sure BP grouping is exactly the same for both customer and vendor in case if you want to treat customer as a vendor. Otherwise, we will get into unnecessary confusion because BP cannot have two groupings, but customer and vendor will have two separate grouping. So you need to make sure one BP grouping is going to accommodate two groups, one customer group, one vendor group. Accordingly, you need to define your configurations. Now what I'll do, I will remove this to make sure that our setting will work as expected or our configuration will work according to our requirement. Some changes are to be made. Now these kind of errors whenever you are getting during your practice or when you are in a project, when the requirements are given to you by your client or by your project team members, make sure first you understand the requirement clearly. If we are not clear with the requirement, we will end up doing small mistakes like this. These are all minute mistakes which we will never realize during our configuration. Only when we do the testing, that is where we are going to identify things are not working as per our expectation. Now what we need to do, we need to define a setting for 8S10, not 8C10. So I will remove 8C10 from here first. 8C10, because we understood this is not we wanted. Our requirement is to make sure same existing Reliance will be converted as a customer. We are not doing straight configuration now. I'll come back, and this setting I will put it here. At this level, I am going to put this here. Enter. Same number. I am going to save it now. Now come back, and if I open the settings once again, now I am inside business partner. Let me come out of this T code. BP again. Reliance search. Open the first one. Go to the change mode. Make sure you are in change mode and select the role related to customer. FLCU00, customer financial accounting. Straight away go to customer general data. When you go to customer general data, this time system is working as per our expectation. Account group for customer, it is taking Sony local customer. Existing BP number 8700, it is picking as customer number. This is what our requirement was. Alright. Now I'll go to company code. I'll put company code 8PSI. I'll select the reconciliation account here. Sort key 001. If you see here, Reliance store is currently treated as a supplier and you are able to see supplier code here, and customer is not yet created. You are in the process of creation of customer. Once customer is created, in short, once you save this, system is going to update 8700 here also. Let me proceed to save this now. When I save it, you are able to see same thing. Reliance store is now a customer. Reliance store is also a supplier now. This is a customer, this is a supplier, and you need to make sure your BP configurations or your CVI, customer vendor integration configuration, is maintained in such a way. If you have a single person, single organization with whom you are going to do different kind of a transaction. Majoritarily buying and selling, your customer or your vendor should hold same BP master. For the same BP master, customer is a role, vendor is a role. This is how we are creating a customer master. Here we did not create straightforward. We created based on existing business partner. You just assigned customer role to it. Now what I'll do, let us complete this transaction. Sony India has sold pantry items to Reliance Store for 5,000. Now create Reliance Store as a BP and assign which role? Customer role using this. And BP yesterday we got 8700. Since it is the same party, 8700 will remain as it is. For 8700 we are able to assign customer BP role. Next one, come back, create vendor invoice will be replaced by customer invoice. Using F-43 will be replaced by F-22. FB60 will be replaced by FB70. After that, display vendor report will be updated by display customer report. Using FBL1N will become 5N. FK, K is your creditor, creditor will become debtor, debtor is your D, and this is your 1 is replaced by 5. These are the T codes to be executed. Let us record this invoice now. In order to record this invoice, what I will do is, I will go to F-22. In F-22, we need to make sure the sale transaction is booked. To book the sale transaction, make sure the document date. Whenever you're recording the sale transaction, it is always the current date transaction. We do not sell today and we will record it tomorrow. If you are selling it today, your sale transaction is strictly supposed to be the current day transaction. It cannot be future date. It cannot be backdated. Purchasing can be backdated, but sale cannot be backdated. Now I'll put no other go. I have to put today's date. Customer invoice direct entry will be DR. I will write sale 01, sale 01. Enter and make sure account number it is the same 8700. Amount same amount I'll put 5,000 and I'll put sale 01. And to book this sale you need a revenue account. Open the chart of account. Check if you have sales revenue account. Currently there is no sales revenue account in the chart of account. Let's go to GL master FS00. In this, let me verify what is the account group for sales. We created a domestic sale 3110. I'll copy any one account number. I'll make it 3110. And this is P&L account. For P&L account, I am selecting non-operating for time being because we have not configured controlling related settings so far. Account group 3110. This is a domestic sale. And I am going to write domestic sales as the GL name. After that, control data, same settings as usual, sort key 001, create bank interest G001, you can save the entry. Sales account is now available. Let's go to GL transaction. Let me open the drop down, hit enter. Now domestic sales is appearing here. Let me pick this GL account. I will proceed further. Customer account, there is no profit center because customer is a subledger. For subledger, profit center accounting is not applicable. Put the same amount 5,000. This is the revenue account. For revenue account, profit center is to be assigned. Input profit center, same thing. Now when you do this simulation, you need to ensure profit center from the sales GL account is transferred to customer account. based on the document splitting, active document splitting functionality. Go to document on the top, click on simulate, verify the accounting entry, customer account debit, sales account credit, Reliance Store is a customer. This is a local sale, in short domestic sale. Domestic sale account is on the credit side. Go to document again, click on simulate general ledger. In this, make sure profit center is updated on the offsetting line also based on the active document splitting functionality. Once this is verified, come back one level and proceed to save the entry. I'll click on save. Now the accounting entry is posted. After this, what we are assuming? We are assuming to verify the customer outstanding report using FBL 51. To the customer, we sold for 5,000. Make sure in customer account there is a receivable of 5,000. Receivable is positive amount. Receivable is positive amount because it's an asset, current asset. In the customer account, I am able to see 5,000 debit balance. And this is second report is your customer balance report, which is FD10N. Go to FD10N, put your customer account, company code, fiscal year, click on execute. Make sure you are able to see 5,000 receivable here. Receivable means positive amount, in short debit balance in SAP. After this, come back and open customer line item report as closing balances for multiple customers in one go using FBL 5H. When I put this company code, customer account will be blank so that all customers data will get appeared automatically. This is standard common report which is used on a daily basis in every organization. Okay, this is how you got the data. 5,000 receivable debit balance is appearing. In short, this is all about your accounts receivable that we have to understand based on the accounts payable which we did yesterday. Everything we did with the other way around. Same vendor we took, we converted as a customer. Same configurations we took, we converted as customer AR, and then we are able to do it without any error. Same example, in fact, we took wherein same purchase we converted as a sale. So when you take examples like this and when you are able to configure it, you will not have any confusion. If there is a confusion, this is a one-time confusion which is coming at the beginning. This confusion is coming to make you confident, to make you get the clarity and the concept of your AP and AR parallelly. This is what I want you to understand and then practice. AP and AR simultaneously. Create customer, create vendor. Make sure same transaction you are able to assign from the both the sides. One side you record in customer, the other side you record in vendor for the same transaction in the same account. So that the confusion whatever you have will be eliminated. You will come to know first whether you are able to understand it or you are able to get any confusion. If you are able to get any confusion, make sure you list out all your questions, confusions, whatever you are getting. With these confusions, when we discuss in the next session, the clarifications I will be providing where you are getting confused, whether your example scenario is right or wrong. Sometimes what will happen, our understanding is correct, our configuration is correct, but the example that we are going to practice or the example that we are trying to record will be wrong. So you need to make sure how you are taking the examples and how you are looking at the transaction. That is very important. All right. Any questions on this so far you can ask. Divya?
Good evening, sir. Uh,
Yeah.
Sir, please confirm my understanding that we have to maintain account groups and number range same for all BP and customer and vendor, right, sir?
Correct.
Sir, as the requirement is to make a customer as vendor, we are creating like this, or the standard process is like this to maintain same account group and same number range.
It is the process. For example, if I say you're doing business with me. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, before you do business with me, first you are identifying a partner to do business
Yes,
with
sir.
you. You
Yeah.
identified me as a partner to do business with you. Now, according to you, your business partner is Ajay. Agree?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So, first you are going to input my information in your system. Who is the business partner? Ajay is the business partner. What is his address and what is the other contact details of him? You are going to update in your system. Once the basic identification details are created of the business partner, your BP will contain only name and address, nothing beyond that. Clear?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Now, once my details are created, assuming you are going to purchase from me. In order to purchase from me, you need to treat me as what? Vendor?
Vendor. Yeah.
In order to purchase from me, you need to treat me as a vendor. But before you are treating me as a vendor, you treated me as a business partner.
Yes, sir. Mm.
First, you identified me and then you made me a BP. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Or when you're creating me as a BP, you would have got a number. Let's say 8700. Clear this one?
Yes, yes.
Now, after this, you decided to purchase something from me. In order to do any purchase, it is straightforward. You need to treat me as a vendor also. Correct?
Got it, sir. Yeah.
Now I am already holding a number in your system 8700. If I am getting another number, let's say 6509, is this identical or this is creating a lot of confusion? This is clear or confused?
Confusing.
This is confused because the same person, if holding two different numbers, it is
Mm.
definitely
Yeah.
going to create a confusion. When I say Ajay is 8700, you're telling Ajay is 6509. I am correct from my point of view, you are correct from your point of view because I am telling vendor number, you are telling BP number. Ideally, if the person is the same, why there are two different numbers? Agree?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So in order to avoid this confusion, we will make sure same number is assigned because you are just adding me a tag called vendor. You're adding a tag called vendor for the existing BP. Over and above BP, you are adding this. Later on, if
Mm.
you decide to sell something to me, you are going to convert me as a customer. When you convert me as a customer, it is 8700 only because I am the same person.
Yes, sir.
Correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
When I am the same person, if I am holding different master records, it is a straight away duplication of master.
Yes, yes.
So in order to avoid this duplication, you are going to control at BP level, and from BP you are going to extend as a vendor, you are going to extend as a customer by assigning respective role. Make sure this role is not creating a different number. That is where you are going to do a setting called CVI, customer vendor integration.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Clear?
Yes, sir. So assuming that in future our vendor may become customer, so we created
Correct.
like this. Yeah.
You're right.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Tejas?
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, audible.
Okay. So, sir, continuing in this scenario, so, sir, whenever we need to check the balance of the vendor and customer, so system will show the net balance, or how do we need to consider these things while making a payment or while receiving the payment?
Now, in our example, what we did was we did a purchase for 5,000, we did a sale for
Yes.
5,000. So, will there be any amount to be paid or you can net off with each other?
Net off.
We can net off because you purchased 5,000, wherein
Hmm.
you are supposed to pay. On the other side, you sold for 5,000, you are supposed to receive it. So instead of you paying and then your customer is paying you, you are recording the financial entry, they're recording the financial entry, we are going to
Yeah.
do a settlement entry. When we say
Okay.
settlement entry, you are going to net off your receivable with payable. To do that,
Okay.
let me show you here. If I come to FBL 51,
Okay.
in FBL 51, if I put 8700, which is my customer, if I run the report,
Hmm.
how much is outstanding?
$5,000 INR.
5,000. Right? I'll come back.
Yes.
If I scroll down here, you will find an icon called vendor items. Now, vendor
Oh,
item
okay.
is nothing but if the same customer is treated as a vendor, it will reflect here. Now, I have selected vendor item. Let me click on execute. If I click on execute, is it still showing 5,000 or it has become 0?
No, sir, it's still showing 5,000.
It is still showing 5,000 because its system does not know that this vendor has got a customer or this customer has got a vendor. Agree?
Yes, sir.
Now, so far, what we did in business partner, we created two different roles. If I go to BP, Reliance 8700, now customer is there, vendor is there, but these two are not same. These two are not related to each other so far. Correct?
Yes.
Customer created by assigning a customer role, vendor created by assigning separate role. Now to connect customer and vendor, if you scroll down here, go to this payment transaction, you will find an icon called clearing with customer here. Sorry, clearing with vendor. Do you find clearing
Okay.
with vendor here?
Yes.
Okay, first thing what I will do, I will update this in the customer master. I am asking system to allow to clear with vendor. Save this.
Okay.
No clearing account entered in this. You are telling to do the clearing with this, it is telling no clearing account entered. Now click
Okay.
on, do you display this message? I'll say no. This is just a warning message. I
Okay.
just pressed no. Let's see.
Okay.
Changes have been saved.
Okay.
Let us verify this. This is updated. I'll go to customer account once again. Now our target is to get net amount as 0 here. Correct?
Yes.
Go to list. Refresh. Did this become 0?
No, sir. Still.
No. We have to go to this again. Scroll down. Scroll down. See if there is any place where system is asking us to input vendor number. You have given clearing with vendor here.
Okay.
And do you find anywhere vendor number here, vendor account? Not here. If I go to account management, let us verify if there is any field called vendor. You have personal number, but this is not. It is not mentioned anywhere. Now what I will do, I will go inside the vendor master. Okay, in customer master, I have enabled it. Let me go to vendor master now. In vendor master also same thing. I'll go to vendor payment transaction, scroll down. Here there is an option called clearing with customer.
Yes.
Enable this, save it. In customer, you told the system to clear with vendor, and in vendor, you told system to clear with customer.
Okay.
After this, I'll go to vendor line item report. Now our target is to get this 0.
Yes.
Go to list. Is this becoming 0?
No, sir. It's
No,
still not.
which means still something else needs to be done. Now what I'll do, I'll go to general data. I'll go to general data. In this, let us go to address overview, identification. Now where it is here, we need to verify where is that code. BP type is here, trading partner number.
I think
correspondence,
payment transaction.
payment transactions, status, where used list, legal data, vendor general data. You have vendor number here, and there is something called customer ID here.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, in supplier, it is asking us to input customer. What is the customer? 8700. Correct? Huh?
Yes.
Now 8700. Let me save it. Close this warning messages. This is updated. Now in supplier, customer is updated. Other way around, in customer, supplier to be updated.
Yes.
Select customer role here. Same thing. Once you understood that this is where it is getting customer general data, your vendor number is getting updated automatically. Correct? Huh? If you update
Yes,
in
sir.
one, the other one is auto updated. Now
Okay.
let us come to the same report. Let me refresh it. This time it has become 0.
Yes. Okay. Got it, sir.
Right, we have to do it in a way where you are able to notice what is happening in system. It's not that one go we will do it, but you are able to see
Okay.
what has happened, but the flow you are missing. Right, if now you understood when the user had raised the same ticket. Now,
Yes.
instead of directly giving the solution, you will first check from your side whether it is updated here. It is updated here at 3 locations or at 3 settings you need to maintain. Whether these 3 settings are maintained or not, you are going to verify it. Otherwise, we will verify only one setting. We will also be under an impression, yes, this is updated. It is supposed to be 0.
Okay.
There may
Yes.
be one simple setting missing, minute settings.
Yes, sir.
Majoritarily, because of this simple minute settings only, issues will come in the project, because these are all silly mistakes which I will ignore, you will ignore. In the similar way, user also will ignore it. So
Yes, sir.
everybody is ignoring it. That is where issue is not getting resolved. Any critical issues, if you see, the solution is very simple,
Yes.
because silly points
Got
we will ignore it, we will just overlook it. That is where we will find it difficult to solve the problem.
got it.
Clear, right?
Yeah. Sir, another question.
Go ahead.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
sir,
go ahead.
for example, if there are 5 existing transactions and after that customer has become vendor, so does SAP allow us to change the master data the way you are doing right now? We need to enter the vendor data into the customer tab and customer data into the vendor tab.
You mean to enter this after posting the transaction?
Yes. For example, sir, 5 transaction has happened for the vendor, and then after the same vendor has also entered the transaction for the customer. So sir, in the vendor master, can we edit the data, like can we
Yeah,
change the
you can
data the
edit
way?
it. You can edit
Oh,
it. This will not have any impact. You can edit this at any given point of time.
okay. Yes, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Prashant,
Sir,
Yes, sir.
one, sorry.
go
Sorry.
ahead.
So this net of this can be projected as one of the support ticket, right?
Yeah, correct. They say that to the customer and vendor, we have done some transactions. According to our, the transaction, we are supposed to pay only X amount, or we are supposed to receive Y amount, but system is not doing so. Then you'll
Okay.
have to see. Now, ideally, there should be no payable to the customer, sorry, no payable to the vendor, no receivable from customer. Correct? Huh? Because you are going to net off this match of payable with receivable.
Yes. Yeah.
So if this is not happening, this is because of the master data issue. You need to tell them that the master data has to be updated. So these kind of
Oh,
things will also come as your support ticket.
okay. So may I know the level of this ticket?
This will be normal priority, not high priority. This is normal, medium or low priority.
Okay. So that means P1 or uh,
No, P1 is
P4.
always, yeah, P3 or P4.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Prashant.
Yeah, sir, good evening. Sir, my question is like for suppose if we are doing a configuration for a one-time vendor or a one-time customer. So, sir, how the system will like read all the things like the number range consumption and what about if we have to be prepared like make another one-time vendor? So how the system will behave?
For one-time vendor or for one-time customer, the way system is working is exactly the same. The way your normal vendor, the way your normal customer is working, it is exactly the same way with your one-time vendor. The only difference is if you're talking about Prashant and Ajay, these two are two separate customers.
Okay, sir.
Okay, for Prashant there is a different number, for Ajay there is a different number. This one you're
Okay.
clear, right? This is the normal
O-
procedure.
Okay.
In case if you are going to use one-time vendor or one-time customer concept, you and me, Prashant and Ajay, will hold the same customer number in the system. So
Okay.
sale to you, sale to me will be updated in the same customer account, but the differentiation is at the document level. Whenever you're recording any transaction, at the transaction level, we have to give the name and address.
Okay.
So when you open the document, system will display the name and address at the transaction level. Now the name and address on every accounting document of your one-time vendor or one-time customer will be stored in the backend table, so that later on at any given point of time, if you look at any particular document number, you can easily identify this document is related to which customer, which vendor. At the transaction level, it will be stored. There is no separate master record for it. Basically you will use it where you are going to do business very rarely, or you have business transactions happening on a daily basis. You don't want to input the you don't want to create separate master every time.
Okay. So, sir, in such a case, we have to be defined the number range also, like what we did in the
Yeah,
vendor.
same setting,
Like, then what
same
is the
setting.
use of the number? Then what is the use of number range, sir? Because as you said that in both the cases, we have generated a same, like a, suppose, let's say we have a customer both. Then in such a case, we have generated a same customer code. Then what will be the impact of the number range? Then why we have to be created?
Let's say you're operating in India in Sony, assuming that this company called Sony India. Sony India may have different branches, different stores. Agree?
Correct, sir.
Let's say there are around 15 stores of Sony India. Possible?
Correct.
It has got 15 stores in India. Possible or not?
Yes, sir.
Now, for every store, I will create a one-time customer account. Let's say you are in charge of one store, I am in charge of another store. You will be recording all the sales in one-time customer account. I will be recording all my sales of one time in another one-time customer code. Maybe my code is 8800, your code is 8801.
Okay.
So your customers and my customers are not in clash. They're not getting a clashed, right?
Okay.
So if I wanted to analyze my sales, I will go to my customer code 87 or 880. You are going to analyze your customer code 8802, because this is not a dedicated master, right? This is a shared master data.
Okay.
Yeah. So at one particular key point level, we are going to segregate. At this level, we are going to create separate one-time customer or separate one-time vendor. So that customer code or that vendor code will record all the transactions of your vendors, all the transactions of your customer.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank
Achoy?
Sir, you have mentioned here in Excel sheet that 8700 is my vendor and customer both. Okay, it is the not the like the regular time basis. Means can we use the different number range for vendor and customer also? Means it is
Yes,
the
that is
rare case
also
only.
possible.
Possible. It is
No,
the
no, no.
rare
This
case
is
only
how
that.
we normally use it. This is how you have to configure. customer vendor number range in any project.
Okay. But sir,
Okay.
many of the yeah, but sir, in this special scenario that 8700 is both role means customer and vendor role is the same. Okay, but many of the
Hmm.
project I have seen that they are maintain separate number range for customer and vendor. Is it also okay, right?
That is also okay, because if the requirement is taken properly at the beginning itself, the mapping will be correct. If the requirement is not taken properly at the beginning, configuration is already completed. Later on, they
Right.
come up with these situations. You cannot change the existing setup. All you can do is make the use of the current settings and try to meet the business expectation.
Okay. Then, sir, we are
Yeah,
configure the system based on always the KDS documents, right? Always the
correct, correct.
or KDS document. And sir,
KDS.
in vendor and customer master level data, you have select the short key 001 posting date, and
Hmm,
also you are select the post short key in the GL master level FS00. So both are
correct.
the short key is the same or any impact, any different impact altogether this short key in report level.
Whatever you are selecting in the GL account, that is updated or that is used only for the GL posting. Whatever you are
Okay.
updating in the customer master, now in your customer
Hmm.
master, whatever you are updating in the accounting entry, customer account debit, vendor account, your sale account credit,
Yes, sir. Hmm. Right.
in the customer account line item, sort key will be updated from customer master data, not from GL master.
Then means then why we select the short key in GL master also? I mean, then
If it is
GL
reconciliation
master
account,
short key.
system will not consider. If it
Okay.
is the reconciliation account, it is not taken from the GL master, it is taken from
Hmm.
the respective customer vendor master.
Okay. It will pick from master level, not the GL level, right? Short key
No,
in
no,
report
no.
ABL 3 1N or 5N, right?
Correct,
Okay.
correct.
And sir,
Because for every
you have
vendor,
select the
you may want to
uh,
have different assignment key.
right. Yes, sir. Okay. And sir,
Yeah.
my last question is that you have select domestic sales under the field status group is G001. But the domestic sale is a revenue GL, right? Can we select the G029 revenue field status group?
Yeah, you can pick
Uh,
anything there. That setting
Anything.
can be selected, can be changed at any given point of time. There is no harm with it. Not
No
to
impact, right?
create
In reporting
confusion,
level.
yeah, no, no impact. I'm not selecting the respective point there. I'm not talking because
Okay.
I don't want to deviate from the key concept.
Right. Okay. Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Sanjit,
Sir, good evening. I am little bit confused about the account group, sir. You are using for customer and vendor a same account group uh, name,
yes, because normally how you are going to treat your customer and vendor is you are going to classify as domestic vendor, third party vendor, or intercompany vendor, foreign vendor, correct? Huh?
yes,
In the similar way, your customers are also treated. Customer or vendor are always opposite. If you're talking about a domestic customer, you will be having domestic vendor also.
right,
If you are having foreign customer, you will also have foreign vendor.
yes,
If you have intercompany customer, you will also have intercompany vendor. If you have employee customer, you will also have employee vendor. Now, when you know that everywhere it is quite common, like local, foreign, or intercompany one time, if I am going to create different identifications, I may get confused. So what I will do, I can either create the same identification or I can create a different identification wherein I am going to mention, let's say if it is vendor account group, I may create V001. For customer account group for local, I may create C001. When I say domestic customer, I can straight away say domestic customer. Customer always starts from C. I will say C001. Domestic vendor. Vendor starts from V. V001.
Yes.
Likewise, any logic you can take, but you have to take after the discussion with the client. The logic, naming a convention, whatever we are taking, it is always finalized based on the client discussion. It's not that we decide on our own. We have to give a reason for it, why you are proposing 1000, 2000, 3000, and why your client is telling I want some way, some other thing. And whatever your client is telling, you need to consider it and check whether from SAP perspective if you can accommodate it. If it is meaningful, logically you can create further entries, you can proceed with whatever your client is proposing also.
Okay.
Clear? So anyways
So
you can
so
consider, but end of the day we need to ensure that you are clear with why you are creating it, and there should be a logic behind it.
you mean to say we can create different account group like
Yes,
B01 or C01 when I using our.
correct.
Okay. Understood,
Because
sir.
depending on the client, we will be creating it in different ways. But whatever the way we are creating, there will be a logic behind it, why it is like this. And that logic is what we have to understand. Let's say tomorrow you are in a project and then you joined a client. Now you have to work or you have to support on GL APAR. First thing, what you are going to look at, how it is configured. So when you look at the configuration, you are able to see there are 5 account groups. Now you are going to say account group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't see that there are 5 account groups. Don't look at the count. Look at the logic there. 5 account groups are created. How they are differentiating account groups. What is the naming convention used? You're getting my point, right?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That is what you have to see when you are in a project, when you are looking at any client system. Because for everything there will be a logic. That logic is what we have to understand. Later on, you may get another requirement wherein your client wants to add another account group. If you are not understanding the existing grouping logic, naming a convention, when you are adding it, you may add it with another code which is not in the sequence or not in the same logical way. Agree?
Agree, sir.
So these mistakes we are not supposed to make.
Okay,
Because
sir.
practically we will not be able to remember everything. So what you will do is we will be creating everything in a logical way, so that if you understand one, whatever is there in that, it will go in the same manner, same logic. Because everything is created based on a requirement, right? So you have to look at what is that requirement. That is why whatever you do, we have to document everything. Requirement document, config document, testing document, UAT
Mm.
document. Agree? Why we are
Agree, sir.
documenting everything? To make sure that everything is in the same sequence. I am configuring considering one requirement, I am testing considering the same requirement, your client is also testing the same requirement. In the production every day you are using the same requirement. If everybody is doing differently, then there is no consistency in the system, correct?
Right, sir.
So this should not happen. That is why we have to always understand why they are getting created, why they are being created. So once we are able to at least understand, it is fine. You are on track. Automatically, you will understand everything.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Bharani.
Hello, Ajay. Similar kind of question only. So, can I maintain separate number range for the vendor as well as customer? For example, in this
Yes.
case, in example, 8700 to 8750 for vendor.
Hmm.
For example, can I maintain 8800 to 8850 for customer? Can I
Yes.
maintain?
Possible. You
Possible.
can maintain it. You can
Okay.
maintain.
Then,
You can maintain. In that case, what system will do is, if you go to master, if you go to company code. So in short, in that case, here the customer will be 8800. It will be 8700. And BP will be either 87 or 8800. You are ending up having different numbers for the same master.
yes, yes.
So that is the challenge which we do not recommend it, because even when your client is looking at the reports and all, They should remember 2 codes for every vendor, for every customer. Agree? Your reconciliations, reporting, everywhere you have to do some additional effort. If it is straightforward, I can put whatever is this coming with 8700, match off and do a net off. If it is not like this, you have to manually key in 2 numbers, right? 8700 match off against 8800. Likewise, if you have 1000 vendors, instead of direct mapping, you are ending up updating 2000 codes manually.
Yes.
You're getting my point, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So those challenges we have to avoid.
Okay.
So these are the points that we will be proposing to the client, or we will be working or explaining to anybody whosoever is asking us, especially in your interviews. Everybody will put a question related to CVI, right? Customer vendor integration. When you attend interviews, this is a mandatory point that you will be questioned. CVI or customer vendor integration in business partner questions. So if you are unable to answer these points, whatever we tell is not convincing enough. Okay.
Okay, Ajay, sorry, one more question. In FBL 5N, just no, you said no, we have to update only uh, vendor, vendor number into the screen. If suppose it's a different number for vendor as well as customer, both number we have to put in.
No. Same number only. That is coming from your master data. Inside the customer master, you are inputting vendor number, and inside the vendor number, you are inputting a customer number. Correct?
Yes.
And at the report level, if you are on the vendor report, you have to select customer line item checkbox at the bottom. If you are on the customer report, you have to select vendor checkbox at the bottom. Then automatically both records will get appeared.
Got it. Final question. What is the purpose of
Clear?
screen? Yeah, clear. What is the purpose of the screen
Yeah.
layout? Just
Screen layout is to control the fields at the master data level. While creating the customer, while creating the vendor, you may want to make sure that certain fields are mandatory. Let's say for every customer, I have to update PAN number, or for every customer, I need to update the mobile number or contact number is must. If I do not maintain that field as mandatory, system will allow users to create the customer vendor even though they do not fill in that key, that field, that information. So to make sure for your specific customer, for the specific vendor, the certain fields are mandatory. Same like the field status group, you are aware, right? OBC4.
no, basically I'm CEO model. I'm not aware of it.
Okay. To make sure that the certain fields are mandatory, you will be updating this. So we will see this in the upcoming sessions. I will show how those things will work.
Then okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Kunal?
Good evening, sir. Sir, I have a question regarding those two line items. It's your means customer invoice and vendor invoice. So how we can clear each means both against nullified? How we can
So
nullify
when you go
both of them?
to anything, either clear customer or clear vendor, system will bring these two automatically.
Okay. So means we can clear from vendor side either or
Either ways,
customer.
if you are clearing from customer, vendor is automatically picked up. If you are clearing
Okay.
from vendor, customer is automatically picked up. Whenever you pull vendor, vendor comes along with customer. Whenever you pull customer, customer comes along with vendor, because at the master data level, you have given the master record. We have enabled clearing with customer, clearing with vendor checkboxes, right?
Yeah. So
So with that,
we
it always comes
we can.
together.
Okay, so it's automatic payment means if we use automatic payment, so it will be gets cleared
It gets
as well.
cleared automatically. No manual
Okay.
intervention required. Once the master data settings are maintained properly, no other manual intervention. Everything is taken care by the system.
Okay.
Whether you
Got
do
it.
manual processing or automatic
Mm-hmm.
processing, two things will come together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understood. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Ramesh?
Sir, in reporting level, this accounting group will be visible when you are extracting any ABL 1N or 5N. This accounting groups which we are maintained, if this is available.
Now for that, what you need to do is at the report level, you have something called a dynamic selection here. If you go to dynamic selection, you can put various other filters. Now see, there is something called account group.
Account, yes, visible.
If I put the account group here, let's say domestic customer or whatsoever, you don't need to put the customer numbers here. Automatically for that account group, whatever the customers vendors are there, everything will get pulled up.
So we need to make the settings here, account group
Yeah.
level.
Yeah. Any other
So,
filters that you wanted to maintain, you need to go to dynamic selection.
so is it available in ECC version? This
Yeah,
dynamic
yeah,
selection.
same. See, when you're talking about customer vendor, ignore the business partner part. Whatever the settings we did with respect to business partner, only to the extent of master data creation, you are using business partner. After business partner, you are calling it as customer only, you are calling it as vendor only. Nothing is changed in APAR apart from business partner. If you forget business partner creation, whatever you did in ECC, it is exactly the same in S4HANA. No change.
Okay, sir. Thank you, thank you.
T code, process, reports, whatever you do, it is exactly the same.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Rupa.
Yeah, hello, sir. Sir, in the previous screen, we have cleared the vendor and customer, but still the items are showing in open item. So to make that into cleared items, we need to go to F-53 and manually set off that
Yes.
like that.
Either
That
F-53 or F-44. What either payment screen or the clear customer vendor screen, you can do it, which we will be doing in the next session. The credit memos payment. Now we are looking at until invoicing only. Once we are clear with master data creation, invoice posting, report generation, then we will see what we will do further with the invoices. If there is a return, how do you account the returns? How do you make the net payment to the customer or to the vendor? Similarly, if you have to make the payment, how we are going to process the payment, in what ways we can process the payment. So these things we will be discussing in the next session.
yeah. Okay, sir. And sir, like we can clear one customer with another vendor's invoice, like or the
Yes,
same we,
you can do it.
we
You,
can do like
you
in
can
the
do it.
master. In the master, we should go and update
No,
that
for that
customer.
no need. If you update it, system will automatically pull at the report level. If you don't update it, you have to do it manually.
Okay, like you are going to show that in the upcoming classes.
I will show that. I will show that. Yes.
Yeah, okay, sir. And also, so what is a control point to avoid BP duplications? Like where we can control.
So you have to maintain the duplicate checklist. Some settings will be there. Those you need to enable. When you enable it, system is going to control based on the address, name and address. Because two vendors cannot have the same address, right? Like PO box, street, and all. If the address is duplicating, it will give a pop-up message. If not, it will not give.
Okay, for that we need to do some settings.
Some settings will be there that I will show. We will see practically by taking same BP with same address.
Yeah, okay, sir. And so one last one for vendor and customer master fields control, we'll do through account groups, respective account groups. What about BP fields? How to
BP fields from the business partner configuration. In cross application component, you have business partner settings, right?
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there we have the settings. I'll show them. In the upcoming sessions, I will show them.
yeah, okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, yeah. Tunde?
Yes, sir. Regarding the issue I had yesterday, I found something that worked, but I just need an explanation of the logic.
Okay.
If I could share my screen, I could show you what I'm talking about.
Yes, you can share now.
Okay,
1
thank
minute.
you.
Let me stop the recording meanwhile.